New on Curiosity Stream. How do you connect a 16th century potato to limitless energy production? Could Napoleon's toothpick have a direct link to a machine that predicts the future? And how can a 1700s conch shell chart a course to humans connecting their brains to the internet? James Burke's visionary series Connections returns for a new generation. Experience all new Connections. With monthly, annual, and bundled plans, find the one that works for you at curiositystream.com. New on Curiosity Stream.
I'm James Burke. I'm going to take you on a journey through time.
James Burke's visionary series returns, reimagined for our time.
Now, this is all uncharted territory.
The Washington Post hails Burke as one of the most intriguing minds in the Western world. The New York Times raves he careens from one great moment in history to another.
Where do we want to go from here?
Experience all new Connections.
So what's the next connection?
With monthly, annual, and bundled plans, find the one that works for you at curiositystream.com.
It's the pop culture field.
Hello and welcome back to the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast, sitting right at the intersection of weapons, action, the military, and pop culture. What's going on, everybody? I'm one of your hosts, Cameron Fath, and I'm here as always with the beautiful...
I am beautiful.
Yes, you are.
Israel Wright. Ladies and gentlemen, it's good to be back with you. It's always good to be back. How you been?
How have you been?
Did you get that boil checked? Did you get that? Did you go to the doctor? Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Did the itch stop? The jock itch? Did you get that looked at, man?
How are the kids?
Remember, there's a shot for that now. Yeah, medical. It's come so far, man.
Oh my gosh, yes.
If you got an itch in your jock, go get that checked out. But I'm pretty sure while you're on your way to the hospital, you are tuning into this Pop Culture Field Manual podcast.
We're not talking about medical stuff today.
No, we're not talking about medical stuff. Actually, quite the opposite.
I'm very excited.
Israel's excited for this.
You're
this
excited
episode.
too.
I'm excited in a way. But this episode, I know we talk a lot about movies and we talk a lot about TV shows.
Yeah.
But this episode is 100. So I wanted to say 100, but I wanted to say 100. Tree fitted. This episode is 100% video games. Video games.
I noticed in our conversations we do tend more towards movies and stuff. So I'm glad we're giving video games their due. Military video games their due today. Hopefully.
All video games.
I mean, we're not going to talk about aliens. I see a note here. I strongly protest the fact that we're not going to talk about aliens very much.
Strongly protest that last statement.
Yeah, strongly protest that last statement. But we'll talk about other things as well. They're not as good as aliens, but a few things are.
But anyways, here, boy.
Video games.
Call of Duty. Hey, there it is. First game we're going to talk about today is Call of Duty.
Let's talk about the Call of Duty franchise
as a whole. Because
we'll
I don't want to get specifics. Yeah. Specifics. Because in my personal opinion, the original Modern Warfare and a close second is Modern Warfare 2, the sequel. Those are my favorite Call of Duty video games.
Yeah, and you grew up with those.
Yeah, those are like what I played before I joined the military. I didn't know what Army Ranger was. I just knew that it was a unit in Call of Duty.
Did you know the sound he made when he took a man's life?
Yeah. Ramirez!
Mendoza!
Yeah, just taking a private and putting them on like a tier 1 unit.
Yeah, and like a super secret op mission, like with no experience. Yeah,
that's crazy talk.
Well, now we know he did it on purpose because we've done the experts play.
He's like, okay, who's the less, who won't be missed?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, little Private John Smith.
Who's going to be the pawn in my game of being uber patriotic?
Yeah, but anyway, what's your favorite? I know you haven't played a lot of them.
Right. I didn't grow up playing this series. In fact, when these games started coming out, my life had taken me elsewhere. And I've always been like a solitary gamer for the most part, so I didn't play anything online until like last year. I wasn't an online gamer, but and usually when it comes to video games, as I've said it before, sci-fi, anime, vampires, werewolves, ninjas, zombies. I don't care. Yeah, exactly. If there's not a vampire or werewolf in it or ninja, I don't care. But I have played a few of these since I started streaming. So I played like Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. We played through Modern Warfare 2 Remastered,
yeah,
which was a lot of fun. And what's the other one? I'm playing through Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which I like because it has a sci-fi element
Yeah, it's
to it. It
very
takes place
futuristic.
Exactly.
You're like in the mech suits and everything.
Yeah, Jon Snow's in it and stuff. So,
Jon Snow from Game of Thrones.
yep, exactly.
Oh, nice.
Also going to be the Black Knight apparently in the Marvel. Did you see that after credit sequence in the Eternals? You haven't seen Eternals. Have you? You've been too busy. It's fine. Nobody cares. But anyway, I'm happy that I get to go back and kind of and visit these games that have been so iconic in kind of a younger generation's mind, or a lot of my audience is younger than I am. A lot of people are younger than I am. Not a lot of people.
You're old as
I'm an
shit,
old
dude.
man, old as dust.
Yep.
But
when you breastfeed, it's like
they didn't have video games when I was born because we didn't have electricity yet.
oh, yeah. The Xbox was Edison's next feat.
Yeah.
After the light bulb.
That's right. But I'm happy that I will continue to play through them. I've made the kind of commitment on stream to kind of play through the series as I get them. I think I've got Black Ops 1 that somebody gifted me. Somebody gifted me Vanguard.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and somebody gifted me Black Ops, the Black Ops 1 for the PS3. So I'll definitely be playing those, and I'll get to them all eventually. We'll probably get to them with extra play eventually.
Yeah. And, man, I probably can't talk about that.
No, don't talk about
it. That we just did.
Oh, yeah, dude. Well,
I don't think that'll be out yet, but stay tuned for something very
folks.
exciting. People.
Or we hope you enjoyed it. Because you probably guessed maybe you're listening to this later than what we did.
Yeah, and you've been paying attention to our Instagrams and what we're posting.
Exactly.
But moving on.
Yeah, Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, great franchise.
Yeah.
Do you have any second thoughts? I know you just made that face.
I just because I know that I see Call of Duty Ghosts on here
I actually
as
haven't
part of the
played
list,
Call of Duty Ghosts.
and I haven't either. But I watched the trailer last night, and now I want to play it
because
it looks really good. I didn't realize it's written. The story is written by Stephen Gagnon, who wrote Traffic. A movie. Yeah,
that sounds like a very boring movie.
What? It's a movie about like drug trafficking. And
I thought you meant like waiting in traffic, like.
Yes, it made a
like
movie
the entire
about
movie
regular
just like
traffic.
Beep, beep, like I'm on the 405. And
That's the first.
It's an hour and a
5 minutes
half
of Fallen. You ever see Fallen with Michael Douglas?
No, I'm thinking like Office Spaces where he switches lanes and it like stops, and then he like the other lane he was in starts going.
No, it's a movie about drug trafficking.
Traffic.
Traffic.
Like traffic.
It's really good.
It's really good. Is it
Did you like The
Soderbergh?
Wire?
What'd you call me?
You never saw The Wire.
No.
Is it Soderbergh? Did he do that?
Steven Soderbergh. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, directed it. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, The Wire. And
Anyway,
traffic.
now I want to play
Not
this
about
game.
405 traffic, about drugs.
Drug
So I'm
trafficking.
interested now.
Yes. See, now you're interested in drugs.
Yep.
But anyway, I want to play Call of Duty Ghosts. You guys can let me know if I should or should not. Those of you who've played it. So.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, moving on down the list here, I'm gonna kind of jump around.
Yeah, jump around,
here.
man. Do what you want.
I just had a crazy experience because I got to jump on the Oculus, which I mean everybody's used to.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's used to the whole game console thing, and I never had an interest in virtual reality gaming before, like the VR headsets. And I got to try one for the first time recently. And oh my fucking god, dude, that is super cool.
That's great. I'm glad you had a positive.
Oh no, I
there.
did. Yeah, I was like,
I
I need to get one of these things. I was like, this thing is so cool. After me getting past my like motion sickness, because I was like not used to seeing a screen that close and like moving, but not actually moving my body and stuff. I was like getting kind of sick, and I was like, man, this vertigo's got to go. But no, Oculus gaming is super cool. Specifically, the game I want to talk about is Onward. That is an awesome game. I mean, I didn't realize how technical you actually get because, I mean, in video games, you like press X to reload and it does it all for you.
Yeah.
In Onward, you literally have to do everything yourself with your hand devices.
You have to drop the mag.
And it's like you have to drop the mag with a button, and then you have to grab a mag off your belt or your kit with a button while using it in your real hand. So like you actually have these triggers that act as your hand opening and closing.
Yeah.
So you have to use the trigger to grab on your belt, which is actually on your body, and you pull it up, present a magazine, and you have to put it in the gun, and then you have to use your hand and touch the bolt release like on the M4, and it'll send it forward, and then you got to re-grab it again. So you have to know how to use the weapon system. And like, thank God we had so much exposure to different guns last weekend. Because like when we were doing the AK, it was like you got to grab the mag, put it in, you got to turn the AK over, you got to grab the charging candle and rack it actually in VR.
Yeah.
And with the saw, it was like you actually have to open the feed tray, you got to strip the rounds, you got to take the old nutsack off, you got to attach the new nutsack, you got to put the belts on the tray, you need to close the cover, you need to switch hands, you need to rack it. You actually need to know how to use these things. And I thought that was so fucking cool. And also, you actually have to aim down the sight, and you have to match up your hands to look down the gun. And it's like fairly accurate, and it's like you can do actually drills and everything with it.
And you had a little a controller extension thing that gave you the structure of a gun.
You could. I didn't like it that much
because
there was magnets on it that attached the hand controllers.
Oh yeah, you were having trouble trying to find the
find it because I couldn't find the little magnet thing to like put the gun in the perfect position. Because once it was in this device, you could like actually shoulder it, and your gun was like perfectly on sights, like you were using a real one. But the second you needed to reload, you have to like break off a controller off of it, and then it's hard I had a real hard time like finding the little socket to put the controller back in. But yeah, that game was nuts. I really had a good time playing Onward. They did a really good job.
I was surprised at how much you enjoyed it. You know,
and don't even get me started on the Star Wars game I played on that. That was
that's right, the lightsaber one. You have the dual lightsabers.
Yeah, dual lights. You can use the Force and everything, and you can use a blaster. And like I was just messing around on it, and I felt so powerful, dude. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to the dark side here. I like ended up shooting lightning out of my fingers, and I had no idea how I did it. And I was just like looking at my hand, and I was just like, I am all powerful,
unlimited power.
It was that was an awesome game. They're really getting crazy with this VR incorporation into the gaming world.
Yeah, I wonder how far they'll go. They have haptic stuff now. They have
like entire experience, like full body experiences and stuff.
I want to get like what they have in like Ready Player One, like it's a full suit.
Yeah, it's coming,
everything,
dude.
You know,
it's coming.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it's
You
coming.
can look at keep your eye on Japan, folks. They're the weird ones. They're going to be the ones that get the full on.
You'll be like, you're going to put the suit on, and all of a sudden you're going to feel like a bunch of tentacles coming after you, and then you feel a vibration in your butthole, and then it's just going to go real south from there.
Oh boy, we've lost the tentacle thread.
Oh no. But anyways, that was Onward and Oculus and the Star Wars game. That was super cool. If you haven't had a chance to check out Onward, I have no relation to them, but I do enjoy their shit.
I mean, if they want to sponsor this podcast, they're more than welcome to.
Hey, if you guys know send them this podcast, and if they want to sponsor us, no problem there, friend. But Izzy, tell me something off this list that you enjoy playing.
I want to talk about. I see Titanfall on here now. It says Titanfall 1 and 2. I have actually never played Titanfall 1, but I heard it wasn't very good. And Titanfall 2 is the game that I played on a recommendation from my Twitch community. So we played it on stream, and I loved it. I loved it. It just has a really good. I'm a fan of a good story, and so they make a big deal out of like. The opening movie, the opening cinematic is like, it talks about the relationship between the Titan and the pilot, how it's this symbiotic relationship, and they move as one together, and they're unstoppable on a battlefield virtually, you know. It was real well done, like the cinematic and stuff.
I actually played Titanfall 2.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah.
Just the beginning though, but it was super cool. How like an online player, once you get in the mech, everyone's like, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then the multiplayer. But yes, it's awesome. You're waiting for your Titanfall. You're trying to stay alive until your Titan gets there. But the story was just really, really fun and cool, and they do a good job of creating that relationship between, B5 or something like that. I forget his name, but the pilot and the mech, the Titan, and that is actually the reason why I started getting into Apex Legends, to which I am now addicted severely.
Yeah, Apex is fun, man. That's one of the few video games I actually will sit down and play in my off time is Apex.
Dude, it's so
on
much fun.
My Switch.
Yeah, and I love getting into the lore of each character and stuff like that because it takes place in the same universe, but like 20 years later or something.
Oh,
like
it
that.
is? Really?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. Titanfall and Apex are the same universe. So
I didn't know
Valkyrie, she's the daughter of a Titan pilot.
Oh, no way. I had no idea.
Yeah, so there's
Is it the same game maker?
Same game game makers. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. I had no idea.
Yep. Like Ash is a new character they just introduced in a new release, and she's actually one of the villains that you fight in the game, Titanfall 2.
Oh,
she's a mech, or she's a android.
Oh, whoa. Okay, I had no idea. Yeah. Wow, you learn something every day, folks.
It's cool to be a nerd.
It's cool to be a nerd.
So, I really like that series, and I love, just anything where they can add like a little bit of emotion to like the kind of soldier story. Really cool. And you realize, I'm sure, once you play enough games and you watch enough stories that I totally lost my train of thought. Anyway, the best stories have a little bit of emotion, a little bit of emotional attachment. And so I like it when they add that to the soldier story because it helps round out in pop culture people's experience of what it's like to be a soldier. So, yeah.
That's good, man.
Yeah, good stuff.
It is good stuff. I want to talk about a game that has impacted me and my youth, and you guys have heard me talk about this, but Gears of War franchise, right?
Yeah.
First Gears of War, awesome, super dark, super grungy. It's like everything. It's everything I wanted out of like an alien fighting, civilization of just steroidal men with
These
giant
forearms. Yep.
Yeah, but like the gore is so awesome. The finishing moves are so awesome. Chainsawing somebody in half. They do such a good job with like, they don't, make it cute. No. It's like when you chainsaw them in half, the blood goes on the screen and they're like literally splitting and you can see like their rib bones protruding out of the gash.
Yes.
So the first one was great, but then they came out swinging with the second Gears of War, and that was my all-time favorite out of all of them.
Okay.
It's actually, I've played the third one, but the third one is where I kind of stepped off of, and it's because of the multiplayer. The whole dynamic of the game was like, it was extremely challenging. Like if you sucked at Gears of War online, you were not going to have a good time. Like you actually needed to be proficient and know what you were doing, especially
steep
like
curve.
Yeah, like using the Nasher shotgun in shotgun battles, like bouncing from barricade to barricade and staying extremely mobile while like shooting well-placed shots from the hip. That was like what it was all about. And then in the third one, in multiplayer, they came and introduced a sawed-off shotgun where any fucking bloke can come up and pick one up and then one-shot you and you're down, even if you're like the best dude.
The experience, okay.
Yeah, I hope they nerfed it, because after that, I was like, I'm not playing this. But and it was funny because like I was actually ranked on Wingman, which is like 2v2, and I was ranked number 14 in the US for like 2 weeks, and I was very proud of that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. So I was playing Gears of War hardcore back in the day. But then the one thing that I did like about the third one is that the story, the campaign storyline is so good. I mean, like you said, it involves that emotional aspect behind it.
Yeah.
And they had like emotion behind loss of a significant other, and then self-sacrifice is really big in there when Dom dies, and that's when the waterworks start coming. And you can like you're with these you're with Marcus the entire time. You're playing Marcus, and Dom is just there, and then you got like Coltrane, you got Baird, and
Coltrane runs on whole grain. That's the only thing.
Yeah, Coltrane runs on whole grain, baby. Yeah, and then such a cool universe, such like so dynamic but diverse characters. They're all from different backgrounds, but they all work together really well. And then the Locusts are just super cool. The design of these guys are super awesome. I love how you can like choose different types of Locusts when you're playing online, and they got awesome weapons too. So the Gears of War franchise is super. I actually haven't played anything past 3. I knew they came out with like a Baird one, like Baird's own Gears of War, where he was like the first guy, and then there was like a one where a woman was the main character.
She was supposed to be the daughter of one of the guys.
I would assume she was the daughter of Marcus or something.
Marcus Phoenix,
I would assume so.
Yeah.
But nothing beats the first game where they're like, the Locusts are coming, and there's just like this dark, dirty cell, and you see Marcus come out. He's just jacked.
Yeah,
and he's just like, "What are we fucking doing here?"
all they had in jail was like protein shakes and weights.
Yeah, and chains. A lot of chains. Just lifting a bunch of chains.
I just remember that I've never played the game at all, but the commercial, the trailer they had for it with the Mad World sound or Mad World song.
Was that
and I think it's kind of funny. I think it's kind of sad. It's like this very like dark. He's through the series and stuff. It's a mad world. I was like, oh, that's so sad. Like,
he's
really like firing,
dark,
and there's all these monsters like rising up behind him.
Yeah, it was a really good. Ad that they made, and that was for Gears of War 3, I think.
I thought that was for the first one.
Was it from the first one?
I remember the first one because he's sitting at the fountain and he sees like the half-broken face of a statue, and then like the earth crumbles and or shakes, and he like runs off and he's running through the streets and stuff.
Nice. They used to have really good ads. I will say the best speech I've ever heard in my life was from Gears of War 2. And it was like right after the first mission, he's like giving this really the general's like giving this really motivational war speech, and like at the end of the speech, it's just like Gears of War, and it's
nice.
Like, and you're like, let's fucking kill.
Let's talk about. Did you ever play StarCraft?
Of course.
StarCraft
2.
StarCraft. Oh, see, I never played any of the StarCraft 2 stuff.
Really? I played all of the StarCraft 2.
Played the OG StarCraft back in the day,
like the Warcraft 3 equivalent.
Exactly, yeah. Warcraft 3 and StarCraft, essentially the same game. One's fantasy, one's sci-fi. Yeah. But I loved it. I loved the story with like Jim Raynor.
Yeah, Jim Raynor, Space Marine.
Yeah, and Kerrigan She becomes a ghost, or she's a ghost, and then she gets betrayed. And she becomes the Queen of Blades.
Yeah.
With the Zerg and stuff like that. That one was like I was never very good at it. Whenever I play it by myself,
at it, man.
I'd always use the God mode cheats with all the infinite money and stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So you
that's
just
how
build crazy
yeah,
armies.
just build forever.
That's a hard game.
It is hard.
You watch dudes like on competition or like ranked matches,
Dude.
and they're like multitasking like nuts. I mean, I'm very one set in that game. I was never very good, but I loved the game.
Yeah,
And, like,
me too. Same
I could
thing.
never play someone one-on-one because they'd always beat me. And there's so many strategies and like everything.
Yeah. Yep.
It's such a hard game, but it's such a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fun
StarCraft 2 is really good. When I was a wee Todd, I used to go to the teen center and play Warcraft 3 all the time.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
they would have like a computer room.
Is this like a community center thing?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It was like a community center, like a rec center pretty much. And
Okay.
but it was just for teens. And when I was of age, I'd go there and they had like a rec room and all these nerds would sit there and play Warcraft 3 and we'd all system link and like fucking play each other.
Little
everything.
LAN parties.
Yeah, man, I would get in trouble because I was supposed to go to breakdancing class and I'd like ditch out on it and go to fucking the computer room instead.
How dare you like badmouth other people for being nerdy when you just said the phrase, I would skip out on breakdancing practice.
Chris, are you trying to get served, brother? Keep running that mouth and I will backflip
You
on
better
your ass.
bring it.
Yeah, you better. You're about to get served here.
You ain't
Right.
seen me windmill.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I will.
Do it back at him. It's the only way to stop him.
Yeah, dude. Fuck it. I got moves, Chris.
You do have moves, man. I've
They
seen a couple of your
haven't.
moves.
They haven't left me yet. So I got to stay mobile. Got to stay agile.
I like how the rebellious thing was to skip breakdancing class when like the rebellious thing for other people would be to go to breakdancing class.
Oh, yeah.
Like I skipped math to go to breakdancing class. Or
But see, I was very young in my field. I'm always the youngest guy. Like I was very young in the Ranger Regiment, and I was very young in my breakdancing class.
Oh,
I was like the
interesting.
young boy. The rest were like high school seniors, and I was still in middle school.
the young Wunderkind,
Yeah,
the young prodigy.
yeah. I was always a young prodigy wherever I went.
You're still a young prodigy.
Yes. But yeah, man, StarCraft 2, super awesome. I actually went to BlizzCon in 2010.
You did?
Yeah.
Man, that's like the hardest convention to get into like ever. Like I love
Really?
going to conventions and like you just can't find tickets for it. and
Yeah, no,
hard.
my dad had a really good friend that was a sound engineer for Blizzard.
Oh,
and for my birthday in
course.
2010, he got me passes.
Dude.
So, yeah, but the kid I went with was like super nerd, like the type of nerd that would like fart in public and like not say anything. And like it'd be like, we'd literally be playing.
There's a lot of those at Comic-Con.
Yeah, in 2010, I remember because this is when Cataclysm was about to come out for World of Warcraft, and we would play like the beta, which they were revamping the entire game. Like all the map that you knew was gone; it was all changed, and like where you started off was like a very high level zone now. And like I just remember we were playing the beta, and they were introducing new classes when like goblins and the Worgen came out, and like I was just sitting there, and homeboy was just tooting next to me and like smelling up the entire thing. I was like, "You got some fucking nerve, kid." And yeah, and I also saw Tenacious D at that BlizzCon they played. Wow, it was a really cool time.
That's cool.
Yeah,
man.
it was
I
a
wanna
good
go to
convention.
BlizzCon. Someday, some faraway land.
Yeah, maybe we
from
can go,
here.
man. It's cool.
Maybe we'll be big enough, and then maybe they'll invite us.
Yeah.
Let's get the Pop Culture Field Manu guys on there.
Yeah,
oh, you know
that'd
the
be- we
pop.
can-
You know Cameron in Israel.
Yeah, we can judge the costume contest.
Yes,
That'd be
yeah,
good.
which is the costume contest.
That's
yeah.
I also love watching the costume contest.
Dude,
Those
cosplay.
people
There's some
cosplay.
cosplayers out there that are bad.
They're good.
awesome.
They're super good.
I don't mean
Uh-oh.
bad isn't. I mean bad isn't good.
You're canceled.
Oh, sorry.
But transitioning, since we're on the Blizzard topic,
Okay.
yeah, World of Warcraft. Did you ever play Diablo?
yes, I played Diablo. Yeah,
I never played
I only
Diablo.
played the first Diablo. Actually, I only ever. But Diablo was one of those games when I played it, I would play it, finish it, and then play it again. Just start it over, you know.
Yeah.
But that's one of those time honored like games. And
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I never did. See,
I
I
never
just
got
didn't have
into
any
Diablo.
money, and I had no like. I wasn't very smart. Like I remember playing this game, but
Still
then-
ain't.
Still ain't. Yeah, I'm consistent. I'm very consistent.
Very consistent.
But like I would get one game. It's why I always bought. It's why whenever I had an opportunity to get a game when I was a kid, I would always get a role playing game because it took a long time
Yeah.
to play because I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't know when I would get another game.
Yeah.
So when I played Diablo, I'd finish it, start over, play it again.
Yeah. See, I was a World of Warcraft nerd. Like I picked it up right after.
Still are.
Yeah, still are.
Very
In a
consistent.
way, very consistent. But I started playing. Actually, I played in vanilla. And those of you that don't know the terminology, vanilla is like the original World of Warcraft, where you can only get to like level 60. But vanilla was the hardest game in the world. Like it took you days on weeks on months to max out your level, and like everything was super hard, and like everything was super expensive, and you couldn't like buy gold like you can now, and there's just wasn't. It was just the OG hard.
Is that classic? Is that what they call classic? Okay.
Vanilla is classic.
Okay, cool.
Like the first World of Warcraft that ever came, and then the next expansion was Burning Crusade, and that like got you to level 70. And like Burning Crusade, people still call it the best expansion that ever came out, right? And then I started playing Wrath of Lich King, which was like
I remember the advertisements for that.
Yeah, Wrath of Lich King. And I started playing in that, got really into it, and then after Wrath of Lich King, that's when Cataclysm came out and changed the entire game, and then that's when I went to the military and kind of jumped off a little bit, but then I came back to Cataclysm when I had a chance, and when I was basically like stationed in 275, and I had weekends now, so I started playing again, and then now they have thousands and thousands of expansions that they have out, and the game is so fucking big, but they actually give you the option to go back to vanilla now and just play 1 through 60.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so that was super cool, but they definitely
do you think I'd like World of Warcraft?
I think you would. If you like role-playing games, it's extremely difficult.
I love fantasy, and I love that whole world. I love the movie. Did you like the movie?
You would probably be like a raider then, because there's the PvP guys and there's like the raid guys, which like one's PvE and one's PvP.
Okay.
I was a PvP guy. But
you're going after him.
Yeah, so that was after though, because originally I was a PvE guy. Like you wanted to be the guy to kill Arthas, like in Lich King. But that was super cool. But yeah, I was a big World of Warcraft nerd, and I still remember everybody I played. I was a troll rogue. My main though was a undead death knight, and then I also had a troll elemental shaman, which was probably the funnest class to play.
Can I interject something about a troll shaman? Because the way I'm probably a little racist, because when I think of trolls, I don't think of them as being very spiritual. They're just a bunch of thugs. So to have a troll shaman is like kind of weird.
I like how you said racist, because it totally applies to like the races of Call of Duty, or the races of World of Warcraft.
I
like,
really
those
am.
fucking dwarves, man, I hate them.
Yeah, like why would a troll? Trolls are a bunch of godless heathens. You know, why do they have a shaman?
Yeah, no, they're very cool, very cool. But man, World of Warcraft, big part. I actually see myself going back, maybe, possibly.
Kinda
but then again,
life kind of evens out a little bit.
Yeah, but then again, I want a social life, so there's that.
Social schmosocial.
Social schmosocial.
Talk to your people online.
Talk to your guilds, man. That's what you need to be.
You can offload your emotional baggage there.
Yeah, there you go.
Then go slay a dragon.
Get your World of Warcraft girlfriend. You don't know what she looks like,
but you know what her avatar looks like.
Yeah.
Metal Gear.
It's important to properly dispose of unwanted medication or sharps. MedProject offers free and convenient disposal options near you. To learn more, call 844-MED-PROJECT or visit medproject.org. It's important to properly dispose of unwanted medication or sharps. MedProject offers free and convenient disposal options near you. To learn more, call 844-MED-PROJECT or visit medproject.org.
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear, front to back. Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, nip the tip. Metal Gear franchise. Solid Snake's the man. He's like the iconic action, video game action hero. That franchise has been, I mean, it's like kind of stands alone. From Solid or from Metal Gear to Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all that kind of stuff. It's there's no other games that are quite like it. Like, it created the kind of action espionage, stealth espionage genre, and it stands alone. And I don't know that any other games have really.
Yeah, I mean, because you don't even have to play the Metal Gear games to know who Snake is. Like,
yeah,
he's just an iconic character. Because I mean, even when Super Smash Bros. Came out and added Snake added Snake as a character, I'd never played Metal Gear, but I knew who Snake was.
Yeah,
so I was like, yeah, that's the dude with one eye. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like a militant, and he's very sneaky.
I remember, like, I had played Metal Gear for the Nintendo, Metal Gear 2. Was there a Metal Gear 3? There was like a... anyway, but like then there was a big gap and I got a PlayStation. Then Metal Gear Solid came out, and it just like... It's one of those ones that like, it's a seminal moment. It redefined like, a gaming experience. I always love it when like, because in the beginning you're in a submarine and Snake's there and he's got his hair and beard is all grown out stuff because he's been hidden away. He tried to leave the life of war behind, and they went and they found him.
You can take a man out of the war, but you can't take the war out of a man.
There you go. That's Solid Snake all down the line. That's a theme in the games is like that soldiers, like they like this is what they do, it's what they're made for. Can they ever really be anything else? Can they, go back to society, and all that kind of stuff. And that's one thing I appreciated, the weirdo Hideo Kojima exploring those deep themes and stuff. But like I always love the trope or the story idea of like the grizzled warrior who tries to leave society. He's living in a cabin somewhere like in Alaska, and then the military comes and they find him, like what was it, like Commando, John Matrix living out in a cabin in the woods somewhere. But anyway, Solid Snake, such a great character. And I actually never played the last one, the Phantom Pain Metal Gear. But we've seen footage from it. Metal Gear Solid 5, Metal Gear Solid V, the Phantom Pain, the creative gameplay.
I'm still recovering from that episode, man. That shit was wild and wazoo. I never understood it.
They get so much stuff, so much great stuff they get in the same series. They get the great story, great characters, just wild wazoo crazy characters like Sniper Wolf, and then like Metal Gear Solid 3, like they have like what, the pain and the end and the zone and the bean and the hat and the whatever. The bean. Although it's always the whatever, always these weird, crazy. It's very Japanese in its like conception of like these characters and stuff, but yeah, just really fun, engaging gameplay, that stealth action espionage kind of stuff.
I still haven't played them after watching that reaction. At all. I'm like, that's good.
Dude, if you ever want to, I don't know if you ever like get like an emulator, but if you go back and you play Metal Gear Solid 1, it just that one just like relaunched this whole like stealth action espionage franchise. I remember getting emotional. There's a character you fight against who's a sniper. She's called Sniper Wolf. She's got the most inappropriate outfit for a sniper. It's like this low cut, like V-neck that goes right down. You can see all that cleavage. You're like, why would you ever need this as a sniper? Why would this ever attract you? But like she has like, I remember when you shoot her, you get involved in like this run and gun sniper battle with her, and you shoot her, and she has this 10-minute death scene where she talks about her childhood and like how she grew up and how she had to kill, and I'm like getting emotional. Like that was one of those games that moment I was like, this game is really actually affecting me, There's even a point where like one of the guys, so it's Psycho Mantis, he can control people's minds. And there's a part in the game where you are having to fight him, but you can't shoot him because he can read your thoughts. So what you actually have to do is you have to physically take the controller, the number one controller, you have to take it out and plug it into the second controller port, so he can't read your mind anymore. And like that's how you beat him. It was just this crazy idea of like. And he can read, back in the PlayStation 1 days, you had the memory card you could plug in to save your games. And he can actually read your memory cards. Like, I will read your thoughts. And he's like, you played this, or you have...
Your butt itches.
Not that in depth. He's not that psychic. Oh, but just the cool, innovative ideas. And, as the series went along, it got a little more, like, cinematic. So, like, there'd be, like, 10 minutes of gameplay. Like, Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, you'd play the level... And then there'd be like a series, like a 30-minute cinematic scene where you're just like sitting there, and like they can have you can do little like side things, like a mini game. There's a robot you can roll around the floor, but they're just talking. They're just talking about story stuff for like 30 minutes. Jeez. And then you go play another level, and there's another 30-minute, cinematic scene and stuff. It's just like, all right, guys, let's get a little ridiculous here.
Let's do this.
Let's keep moving. Yeah. All right.
But not only is this an amazing. This is an amazing trilogy, but Lord of the Rings has awesome video games.
It does.
It has awesome. Yes. Not only is it the best trilogy ever made, but they also have legendary video games. I remember because on the GameCube, you ever play Return of the King?
No, only Lord of the Rings games that I've ever played are Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War.
Okay, well, the OG ones, like, fuck, man. It was, Return of the King was
Two Towers is the one that I hear is, like, the best one out of the series. Is that true?
I didn't play Two Towers. I only played Return of the King, and that one I thought was the bee's knees. And so,
I played Two Towers, and it was because you get to do the Battle of Helm's Deep. So it's fantastic.
I watched kind of a little review, kind of been getting ready for the episode today, but you play at Weathertop, and like you play like in
you do
like,
everything.
Yeah, in Fellowship battles, and then Helm's Deep and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, Return of the King was super awesome, and then they came out with Conquest. Did you ever hear about Conquest? Lord of the Rings Conquest. That one was super cool, and it's because you didn't really play like an iconic character in the game as you do in the Lord of the Ring or in the Two Towers or in the.
Do you play like Silmarillion type characters?
No,
or like...
you can play just like an archer.
Okay.
Or like just a knight or something,
okay.
and it's like literally it's pretty much Call of Duty but in third person in Lord of the Rings.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and you're like
cool.
online, like shooting arrows at each other, and like you can be like an orc berserker and like go after people and like just slay them and stuff. But it's
cool.
like it's third person actual combat, like multiplayer video game, and it's really fun. I remember the beta came out, and I was like, oh my god, this is so much fun. And you can play like different classes, like you can play a rogue, an archer.
So it's an MMO. Like,
Yeah, it is.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and you can play all those in online. It's so fun. I had the beta, and it was even the beta was just like I'm having a blast here. But it seemed like a lot of people stopped playing it after like a long time because I couldn't matchmake with anyone on the beta anymore because they moved on to bigger and better things.
Bigger and better.
But yeah, Lord of the Rings Conquest and Return of the King and Two Towers, those were good video games.
There was one called The War in the North, right? I just remember like I spent a lot of time growing up watching my brother play games. I think he played like the only thing I remember about that is that you could play. It was like a World of Warcraft thing where you could build up your forces and attack. It was like
There's
massive
War of the
scale.
North 2011.
I remember you could have champions that you could summon when you built up enough points, and Tom Bombadil was one of the guys. And I'm reading the book
Bombadil.
right now, and I just read about
Yeah,
Tom Bombadil.
you don't know who Tom Bombadil is until you read the first book.
Right, yeah, and that was kind of one of the things where in the movies people were like, why wasn't Tom? Because it's actually a significant section of the book
It is
where they're at
in
Tom
the very.
Bombadil.
It's like an entire chapter.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 chapters where he saves them from like the woodwits
Yeah.
that try to possess them and stuff or capture them. I was like, Tom Bombadil, he's so awesome. And I remember in that game, he's always like dancing around. He's got the blue jacket and the yellow hat, like in the books. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I know that. I get that reference.
Yeah.
I got that one.
Yeah.
I understood that reference.
And then you got like the other one was the Third Age. You ever hear about Lord of the Rings: The Third Age?
No, there's
that
so many
one.
Lord of the Rings
There's
games.
so many Lord of the Rings games, and I remember playing that one. I didn't play it for a long time just because it wasn't like you can't mobilize your characters very well. Like you run around and then it's like Pokemon.
Oh,
So like you're running around and then all of a sudden you encounter like a orc party and then boom, it's like dun, 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 and you like
Battle screen?
Yeah, literally you select your move and like one character like shoot frozen arrow and they fall on the ground
Fireball,
and get back.
fireball.
Yeah, fireball. He still has 200 points left. Yeah, so that one was a little less climatic, but yeah, that one's another Lord of the Rings cool game. But yeah, man, do you have any other games you want to talk about?
well, the only Lord of the Rings games that I've played are ones we've talked about before: Shadow of Mordor and then Shadow of War.
Yeah.
Which I love it because people, the real hardcore fans, I've actually had people get angry at me or upset. They're like, this is not lore, this is not canon, this is not. But I like that it's kind of like, I don't know, fan fiction. It's like a fan film or a fan game. It's, where the ranger guy gets killed and then
That's
the
Mr.
soul.
Ranger guy
It's
to
Mr.
you.
Ranger. Well, I didn't want to offend anybody. Once a ranger, always a ranger. Even in fake worlds.
Absolutely.
But he gets possessed by the spirit of that elf
that
king.
elf king.
And just the fact that you can like possess orcs and you can build up this massive army. And then the second one took it even further where you can have entire sieges on these different because you have to conquer, there's like 7 or 8 lands. You have to conquer each one in order to beat the game and stuff.
Nice.
But always, just really fun. Just they took everything from the first one and they just quadrupled it in the second game. And it's cool. It's cool to dip into that lore. You found a Balrog at one point.
Yeah.
I love that. I guess maybe in a better way than was executed in the Hobbit movies. Like they take lore from the world and they put it into that game.
Yeah.
And so you kind of get a little taste of something more outside of the kind of Lord of the Rings story.
Yeah, I mean they do a good job, and I don't just keep mentioning it because it's my favorite. It's because hey, shit, these games are entertaining as crap, man.
You want it?
I still want to find my old GameCube and like keep playing the Two Towers Return of the King because it was so much fun. I still remember it. Like that was my favorite video game that I played.
Now we're talking about like military video games. This is the whole episode, but like what do you think it is about military video games in particular that like what do you like about them? What do you not like about them? What are some of your favorite aspects of military video games specifically?
Well, having the actual military experience and knowing what I thought before, I think that people are so drawn to military video games because it takes the best part of the military and it basically overdoses you with it.
Right. It's
So,
like
I mean,
like
it's
let
not-
pour sugar all over.
Yeah,
it,
exactly. It glorifies what the military is, even though there's way more into it. People don't know the dark stuff that goes into it.
Yeah.
But I think it takes what everybody wants the military to be and highlights on that. So, like, thinking about it, just like the sniper mission, right? Like all those cool sniper missions, everything. That's what everybody wants to do when they join the military.
Want to be a sniper.
Not mop the motor pool when it's raining outside. That's the type of stuff that they don't see, or like
Scrubbing down toilets.
it's about like 5% of the military is actually doing the cool shit, and the 95% is paperwork, making sure your AOs are clean, training and all that stuff.
God, so much.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It takes the best parts of like your job in the military, and it just compiles into this cool thing to do.
Yeah, it's like it's the is but is not kind of thing.
It's not
like,
the
it's
end
like,
all be
yeah,
all.
you get exposed to a lot of different weapon systems, and you can go through shoot house and stuff like that. No, obviously none of the combat stuff is anything you ever actually. Well, maybe like being in a battle is not like playing a video game. Obviously.
Yeah, no.
It seems so obvious to say, but like, well, I'm sure a lot of kids. I don't know anybody that would ever be like, oh yes, it's just like the video game, right? Nobody.
Yeah.
I don't think we got to give kids a little more credit than that.
Yeah.
But no, I think you hit the nail on the head, man. I actually have nothing really else to add.
Sorry.
No, it's really good. There's a vicarious kind of aspect.
Yeah.
If you want to try to like get a taste of something, but it is not that. Like you said, it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
I actually think you and I don't know if you would agree with this, but I feel like I was really lucky in my military experience because, like you say, it's like 5% the cool stuff and 90%, not. But I got to do a lot of cool stuff. In the military,
yeah, no, there's a lot of people that go in the military and have a lot of sour things to say about it when they get out. I'm not one of those people.
No, me neither. No,
I had an amazing experience in the military. I did almost everything I wanted to do,
Me
but
too.
now it's like, okay, I'm very happy for the experiences I did have. I got to travel, I got to shoot guns, I got to meet awesome people, I got to learn a fuck ton of knowledge.
Yep.
And I got to become a better man in the military. So I had a very good time. So let me ask you, do you think these video games can really truly influence a person to join the military?
I think that they can have. I think they can be one of the aspects that kind of pushes somebody in that direction.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it before. Like
I am one of those kids.
Medal of Honor Frontline. You
Yeah.
mentioned it, and you're like, yeah, it totally like planted the seed in your mind.
It made me interested in it because I know since a young kid, I've always wanted to join the military. I had no aspirations of going to school. I was like, yeah, I just need to get this degree so I can ship off a week later, and that's exactly what happened. So yeah, I mean, I was definitely influenced a lot by that because I don't know, you when you're doing something or you find interest in something, there's always a goal to it. There's not just like I like to get into it just because it makes me happy.
Right.
I think my interest in all things military derived from the fact that I wanted to serve and wanted to be in the military and do all that badass stuff, but I needed a little push in that direction to kind of ignite that spark of interest.
Yeah, I one thing I love about military games in terms of like a positive influence is like it may seem kind of cheesy, and I understand the world that we kind of live in today, and people are very cynical, and maybe we're like good at like attacking kind of the foundations of certain things and stuff like that. But like the U.S. military, fundamentally, I believe, is a good institution. Like the purpose of it, the foundations of it, and all that kind of stuff, and the kind of like the nobility, the self-sacrifice, the brotherhood, the camaraderie, the duty, all that kind of stuff that you can when it's in a video game, man, I really appreciate that because I think at a fundamental level that stuff is actually true. You know?
Oh yeah, it absolutely is.
There's a lot of weasels in the military. There's a lot of stupid stuff that happens, but I think at its heart, it's still good.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, you see it 1,000 times where a lot of people join. Some people join because it's something that's like a call to duty for them. Mm-hmm. No
Call
pun
of duty.
intended. No pun intended. But a lot of people join because that's their last choice.
Yeah.
When they're like, I can't afford anything, I have to join the military because this is like the only job I can get.
Right.
Or they're like, I want to straighten myself out. Like you see a lot of people that push their children to that because they think it will straighten them out.
Yeah.
And it definitely does. And sometimes
It can.
It can.
I like to say the Army is a lot of opportunities.
It
no
is a lot of
guarantees.
opportunity, no guarantees. That's a great way. I've never heard that, and I like that a lot. Yeah. But yeah, man, I definitely think it can influence you as long as you, do the right thing and make the right choices.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point to transition into our game. And
Our game?
I don't see anything on my screen. I know you don't, Cameron. Chris?
It's me.
Chris.
Yay!
It's you.
I love it when Chris does the games.
It does.
I enjoy doing it just because then you both get to play as
Yes.
opposed to one person being the game master.
Right.
So this
Game
this game is called Gaming the System.
Very good at that.
He is very good. I stayed up 4 hours thinking of that. Okay.
Titles are hard.
Well, this game is easy as pi, meaning the circumference of any
3.14.
circle divided by its diameter. So it's actually quite difficult, and it goes on forever.
Oh, God, math.
3.145.
Does it keep going?
6.
I don't know. So you could say any numbers, and I'd say yes.
6, 8, 7, 4, 3.
So I'm going to name a video game, and you tell me the name of the main character of that video game.
Cool.
And if it doesn't, and if the answer I have is not considered the main character, it's the main character because that's what I wrote down. Okay, so let's
You
do a
are the
warm
game
up.
master.
Well, we're not playing the game to argue about the answers. We're playing the game just,
Everybody have fun.
yeah, we're here to have fun. Okay, so the warm up is Metal Gear. So who's the main character of Metal Gear?
Solid Snake.
Solid Snake, yes.
There we go. That's the correct answer.
For those of you that are wondering, the first 100 digits of pi are 3.14592665352897993526488609986208899862803484599338034825 342117069.
And just so it's clear, anyone listening on the podcast, I mean, anyone watching on YouTube would know this, but Cameron was reading that off a screen.
Yeah.
He wasn't just rattling that off. I love Cameron, but come
I really
on.
enjoy that. I don't know
Nobody,
why.
Smart.
nobody has that much room in their head except for some weird math
Small
savant.
Asian children.
All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
All right. Castlevania, the original.
Castlevania, the original. Ooh, what's his name?
I know the last name. Last name's Belmont, but there's two names competing in my head.
What are the two names?
Simon and Richter. I think Richter is actually 3, and then I think Simon is 1. Simon Belmont.
I'm going to go with that because I have no idea.
Let's say
That's
Simon.
correct. It's Simon
Nice.
Belmont. Very good.
All that useless information's coming to
I
bear.
know.
on
You're
the quiz
definitely going
game.
to carry me
See?
in this game, that's for sure.
By remembering that, he doesn't remember the last 90 digits of pi.
Right. It was
Yeah.
either the last 90 digits of pi or Simon,
Simon
Belmont.
Belmont.
And of course,
all
we're
these
gonna go
digits
Simon
of pi are in my brain, and there is no room for video game main characters in here, okay?
Belmont. It was either
All
that
right.
or remembering my mom's birthday.
Yeah.
And I don't remember that.
When's your mom's birthday? Simon Belmont.
Simon Belmont.
4, 5, 3, 2. I mean, I'm saying
3.1459.
All right. Metroid.
Metroid. Samus.
Yes.
Samus.
What's her last name for bonus points?
Oh, man, I don't fucking... Ball girl?
Aran. Samus Aran.
Samus Aran. That's correct.
Yeah.
All right.
Strong female character.
Strong female character.
I always thought that was a man.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
until
was
I
the big
actually-
reveal at the end.
Yeah.
All right.
Whoa.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare, there's multiple characters.
But there's only one right answer.
Right. I think we all know the right answer to that one. Let's say it right at 1, 3, 2, 1.
Soap.
Price.
Price?
Yeah, Captain Price.
The main character, no, the person you play at is Modern Warfare is Soap.
Yeah, but who's the main character?
No, it's Price.
It's Price is the main character?
Price is price, man.
Price is Price.
Price
Look,
is
if you
eternal.
Google Call of Duty Modern Warfare main character, it's going to say John Price.
Is it really?
It is.
Who do you play in Modern Warfare, though?
Well, you jump around. Don't you jump around as different
But
people?
you never play Price.
I
never
know,
play Price.
but
He's always
that's why
like the-
he's the main character. He's the through line.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
whatever.
he's
I
like-
do what I want.
It's fine. I just like that is teed it up for you, and he did the countdown, and then you said the wrong thing.
I hate you.
All right. God of War.
Got Kratos.
That's correct. That is Kratos.
That's
That
great.
is correct.
I keep trying to.
Correctos.
I've been doing this recently. I've been trying to take people's names and turn it into the answer. I'm trying to say it never works.
Hameratos.
All right, Witcher.
Witcher, what's his name?
Wait. It's in there. It's in my brain. It's in there
It is.
somewhere.
I just literally-
Henry Cavill. Fat Cavill.
Fat Cavill.
Oh, God.
Start with a B. It's... what are you doing? I just
Also
watched this
go
Netflix
into
series,
the
too.
Witcher oh, Valley. That's not going to give me the answer. I just Wait.
Benarin. God, I just watched this series like 2 weeks
This is
ago,
so
too.
dumb.
But it was background noise.
Yeah.
Does it start with a B?
It does not.
Does it start with a D?
It does not.
Okay. It started with an E?
It does not.
Okay.
Geralt of Rivia.
It's Geralt of Rivia.
Oh, I need a nap. That was too
Yeah,
long.
I
wow.
saw the smoke coming out of your
Yeah,
ears.
the vein was popping out of your forehead.
That's one of those ones where if you don't get it, you kick yourself. You're like, I
Geralt
knew it.
Rivia.
I knew that you knew it. That's why I put it on here.
C E G
All right.
B D.
Everybody
They all
was
sound the
yelling
same.
at their
everyone's yelling at their stereo.
their stereos, their radios.
Yeah.
Uncharted.
Uncharted. Oh, I forgot this one.
I know it. I'm gonna give you a couple seconds. I'll let you stew a little bit.
He's not going to get it out of nowhere.
When you give me a couple seconds, you just have to make me fart. That's pretty much it.
What do you think about the Tom Holland playing him in the movie?
Tom Holland.
They're making a movie.
Spider-Man Tom Holland.
Yeah, Spider-Man Tom Holland.
Terrible. He's way too young.
Well, they've got Mark Wahlberg playing his Sully, his older mentor.
Also terrible. He doesn't have a mustache.
Yeah.
He should have a mustache.
Be good at that.
I think Mark Wahlberg playing Nathan Drake or Nathan Fillion from the fan film.
Yeah.
That would be good.
He just told you the
said
name.
the answer.
It's Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake.
Great descendant of the original.
That's not true. That's just the name he picked.
Okay.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
You just played this. You know this. I've never played Red Dead. Boy.
Oh man, I am gonna because this is a really touching game.
You can say his name. Cameron, do you see that you don't know the answer?
Yeah, I don't know the answer. I haven't played Red Dead.
Amidst the crash of the world.
What's his name?
I'm blanking. I'm blanking on his name.
Oh,
I really am blanking.
This is
on
another
his name.
Geralt.
Yeah, there's another Geralt of
situation.
Rivia moment.
Here goes that
Reset.
forehead vein.
Yep.
Reset.
What is it? John Marston is the name of.
That's the original Red
It's
Dead.
the original Red Dead Redemption. John Marston, and I'm gonna kick myself when I say it. Amy, do you know it? Did you have to look on your phone? I don't know about that. Man, I really want to get this one because it's a really good game.
I'll count down from 5, 4, 3, 2,
Jack Holiday.
I know it's not Micah because he's the bad guy. I give up.
Arthur Morgan.
Arthur Morgan.
See, now he's going to
Golly.
kick himself.
Just a good Christian name.
Just a good, solid Christian name.
Just a solid Christian.
All right, and the
boy.
last one is Death Stranding.
Death Stranded.
Wait.
Death Stranding.
Wait. No, it's
Death
jeez.
Stranding. Standing or stranding?
Plugging my ears right
Norman
now.
Reedus. Stranding.
Stranding. What does that mean?
Which I didn't actually know the premise of this game, but when I read it, I was like, I got to play that game.
What is stranding?
The Death Stranding, I think it's something to do with the connection between the living world and the world of the dead, the supernatural world. Or no, it was a virus or something like that wiped everybody out.
I don't know. I didn't read that in synopsis.
Virus.
It's just post-apocalyptic. What's his name?
Virus.
Is it
A
Sam
virus?
Walter Bridges?
I'm going to give you credit, but that's wrong.
Oh.
It's Sam Porter Bridges.
Sam Porter Bridges.
Because he's a porter.
He's a porter. Yeah, he's a guy. He's a delivery guy. It's a glorified walking sim.
All right, so I think
It's so
you guys...
weird. You walk so much in this game. And
Well,
that's
thanks
the
for
whole
carrying
point.
me through that, Israel, because I had
Sam
no
Porter
flipping
You did
idea.
7 of 8, so that's pretty good.
All right.
That's
Israel did.
87.5%.
Nice, I'll take
Nice.
that.
I'll take that,
Bees
math.
get degrees.
That's a B+. All right,
Nice.
good job, you guys.
Good.
Nice. Good job, Cam.
Well, that was fun for you, Israel.
No.
I was just sitting here with my thumb in my ass, just like wiggling around a little bit.
All right, folks, that's all the time we got for. We're going to wrap this up really quick. If you want to hang out with us, send us an email. Go to pcfmpodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to our Instagram page, PCFM Podcast. If you want to hang out with me, you can go to twitch.tv/myhappyself. If you want to hang out with Cameron, or you can support his Kit God, his brand apparel. I messed that up.
Okay, I'll take that. You're almost there. If you guys want to support my streetwear brand, go ahead and check out Kit God Apparel on Instagram or on our website, www.kitgodapparel.com.
New episodes every Wednesday, YouTube episodes every Friday with a little bit extra content for you. Go ahead and subscribe, like, and share. Cue music.